As Meat once said, Mr. Loaf, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. In this case, I'm going to go 1 out of 3 ain't bad, Bones.
Yeah, especially how it happened. That Lourdes Grand Slam was pretty cool.
Yeah, so look, the Blue Jays lost the series. We're going to get into it with our storylines and MVPs. We have a He Was a Blue Jay coming up, but they're on a 1-game win streak, and they're riding that into Chicago, the South Side, to take on the White Sox. That should be a lot of fun. We got our scaries coming up and our hype trains for that, too. It's Locked On Blue Jays, your Monday episode, and it starts right now.
You are Locked On Blue Jays, your daily Toronto Blue Jays podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Blue Jays. Thanks so much for making us your first listen every day. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Odyssey, YouTube, Vimeo. Not actually Vimeo. Is there anywhere else you can find us?
Yes, but I don't know them off the top of my head.
You're probably not finding us elsewhere. He's Matt Bonaparte. I'm Ben Shulman. Bones, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Make sure if you're on the YouTube to keep growing it, press that subscribe button and let us know how we're doing. Give us some comments. Let us know what you like, what you don't like. We want to hear from the fans.
Yeah, and if you're feeling frisky, hit that notification bell too. That'd be cool. Then you'll know when we post.
We're up to 70 subscribers.
It's always growing. It's a small but growing community. We're getting some comments on there, which is nice. We like to hear from you guys, whether it's on Twitter or on YouTube. Or we'll shout out the Gmail at the end of the episode. We got an email because some of you guys, aren't social media guys, which is cool. But yeah, I'm doing well as well. You want to hear something that our listeners don't care about?
Sure, man.
The Fort Wayne Tin Caps, we're recording on a Sunday, just won 14-0 and took a no-hitter into the 8th inning.
Wow, you're having an exciting day.
Yeah, seriously. So I'm kind of amped. I'm ready to go. I watched that game, or didn't watch. I worked on that game and then watched the end of the Blue Jay game. Blue Jays win the final game in dramatic fashion, one of their best wins of the year, but lose the series. I flip it to you, Monsieur Yankee fan. What's your storyline?
Storyline for this one is bad series. I mean, how bad could it be? No one beats the Yankees this season, but what the good thing you can take away from it is that I think that Blue Jays are the only team that I can remember this year that has gotten to the Yankees bullpen and actually come from behind and won a game in which they were down a bunch. Lourdes Gurriel hitting that grand slam off Miguel Castro. I was sitting there like, well, it had to happen at some point. Like someone eventually had to get to the bullpen. And I think the Jays should come away from this game. Obviously, they're happy that they won this final game. They didn't get swept, but they also should be happy that they showed no quit and they were able to come from behind in a huge hole and take out a team like the Yankees late.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was looking like it was going to be just the ugliest of ugly series. Like if they go down and lose 8-3 or something like that, that's a demoralizing, derail all the momentum you created in the last couple weeks series. But he was a Blue Jay. Miguel Castro hanged one and Lourdes banged one.
He did.
And Wandy Peralta's a good reliever too. Like I know they didn't have everyone. I know that there are a couple injuries on the back end, but still, like you said, no one gets this bullpen. Really doesn't matter who they've been pitching recently. They've just been dominating. So to at least like show the Yankees they're human a little bit is definitely a big win for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that Boone left Marinaccio in for as long as he did because, yeah, it was a spot for Marinaccio for a while, and then eventually it wasn't. And I was like, I don't know about this. It could have gone to a couple other arms, but we stuck with the young gun, Rocky Marciano, as I like to call him, and they lost.
Hey, well, Blue Jays won. My first storyline is that today's episode is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline has you covered with more props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline, where the game starts. But my actual storyline is that this kind of felt like a playoff series. And I think we might have mentioned that earlier on, but this one even had more of an air of intensity in the ballpark where, the fans were great, loaded it up, especially for Father's Day today, and just definitely made noise, had a lot of fun. But also online, I mean, Twitter was vicious, which I like people being passionate. I won't be like too much of a PSA guy on both sides, like Blue Jays Twitter too. Like I know Yankees Twitter can be pretty toxic, but like let's remember it's a baseball game and not be mean actually to each other. If you want to make fun of the other team, totally fine, but let's not make this too deep. But yeah, it was just, I mean, Josh Donaldson thought it was a playoff series. He got clipped in the jersey by a ball and smashed his bat right to start the game. Like
Donaldson, I feel like he does whatever he possibly can to like be flashy. He'll take any little thing, and he had that crazy pimp in the beginning of the
that was
game. It was
crazy.
like, all right, man, like I get you hit a cool home run, but like it's like your 4th of the year. Like relax, man.
It was a crazy pimp.
Yeah,
Huge game for bat flips, gotta say. Big bat flip
Lourdes
game.
was awesome.
Yeah, Blue Jays Twitter, which I like you at Blue Jays, posted that Teoscar's bat flip was the best of the game. Just not even true for your own team. Lourdes's was definitely cooler.
Totally.
But yeah, it felt like the playoffs, which I like. And to a certain extent, you know, there was a lot of Yankees Twitter tweeting about how much they don't care about the Blue Jays, which I think kind of contradicts itself as like an action to tweet that you don't care about something. And I do think the amount of barbs that went back and forth, although bad, kind of show that like the Yankees respect the Blue Jays, even if they know they're better. Like I think it's pretty clear the Yankees are better than the Blue Jays at this moment in time. But more people seem to be spending their time hating the Blue Jays than hating the Red Sox these days. And that's kind of fun for like me, a Blue Jays fan who grew up with just complete irrelevancy.
Yeah, the Jays have definitely been public enemy number 1 this season for Yankees fans, mostly because they're the only team in the division as of right now that poses a threat to first place. Are the Yankees on a crazy tear right now and have an insane record that's historic? Sure, but it's June. In August, like there's so much baseball left to where I feel like people are forgetting that like you could easily lose this. You have injuries, one bad month, and it's close again. So I think Yankees fans, while they're going to parade around and say that there's nobody that can touch them, they all know in the back of their minds that the Jays are a really good team. And if they slip up, they will have a chance to catch them. And a game like today showed that they can hang in with them.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's about as much of a battle as you're going to get from the Yankees. Even Rizzo coming back with the homer and, you know, making it close again. The high heat strikeout on Judge near the end was dope.
That was a great pitch from Romano.
Yeah, Romano was awesome. I want to talk about him in a little bit. First, who was your MVP?
My MVP is going to go to the Pineapple Man himself. I'm going Lourdes. I mean, without his grand slam, that game is probably over. I mean, he took advantage of that situation. Obviously, there was more time left, but if you don't hit a grand slam right there, it becomes almost impossibly more difficult to win that game. So that was a turning point in the game, of course. Didn't give them the lead, but made it a 1-run ball game. So him doing that put him on the track to victory. Lourdes. Also, he's been coming back into his own. I mean, the Detroit series, then Baltimore, he started to hit even better. He didn't play one of the games this series, and he was 0 in the other game. So to see him come out today and have a clutch homer like that, I'm going to give it to Lourdes, my MVP.
Yeah, Lourdes still rocking like a low 700s OPS, which again, given the start to the year, yeah, fine. Like he's not Lourdes Gurriel is not going to be an all-star. That's you have enough guys
totally fine
to be all-stars on this team. My MVP, and very simple because I do want to get to Romano in a second for one moment of the game. Teoscar. Lourdes sets it up. You know, Lourdes is the bump and Teoscar's the spike, and that's they both needed to hit the home runs that they hit at the moment they hit them. The more and more Teo is back, the more and more the Blue Jays are back. And yes, we're pretty narrow focused on this one game, but they got absolutely dogged in the first 2 games. So kind of hard to pick an MVP from those. But I do want to give credit to my man, Romano. Sportsnet broadcast. It's in between. What is it? It must have been the bottom of the 8th inning. So Romano's got 2 outs already. He's sitting in the dugout. And there's a moment where he looks disheveled, like sweating, hair everywhere, just looks just like he got through the worst breakup of his life. And he turns to the camera and looks at it for 1 second, and I got nervous. Like, there were just daggers. And I was like, all right, he's going to save this game. Like, that guy,
dog.
when you give that guy rest, like I know he was a little up and down at times, kind of May-ish. When you give that guy rest and he can reach back for 98, he's so dirty.
Yeah, I think he's kind of rivaling the spot of my favorite Blue Jay. One, because I'm a sucker for a fun closer. Like I was the biggest Brian Wilson guy on the face of the earth when the Giants were good with him. But also because he's Italian, so like he's my paisan. Like I just love that guy. Played for Team Italy. I mean, he's my dude. I love Jordan Romano.
Italian Canadian, Marco
Sure.
Monterio's own Jordan Romano. Yeah. So look, I'd rather win the last one than win the first one and lose the next two. And it's obviously not good to lose series or lose ground. But if you want Ben's silver lining of the week, the O's carried their momentum from splitting the Jays to beating the Rays in a series.
That's
So,
big for the Jays.
Kind of a huge 7 games for the Stinky O's. Good job, 4-3 in those 2 series. So nice to see the O's. Ryan Mountcastle, I don't know if he played well in the series. I don't watch Orioles games, but if he was still Barry Bondsing, I'm happy for him. But you know why he might be hitting so well, a guy like Ryan Mountcastle, or maybe a guy like Teoscar Hernandez, because he's doing what I do, maybe. I literally use a product from Athletic Greens every single day. It's AG1. And I started using it because I was like, look, I can easily run half marathons. Half marathons for me are like nothing. But I wanted to run full marathons. That's right, full marathons. So I just started putting down delicious scoops of AG1, 75 high-quality vitamins in one scoop, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, bones, spell adaptogens.
Adaptogens. ADAPTOGENS. Adaptogens.
That is correct. You know what's also correct? That AG1 contains less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals, or artificial anything, while still tasting good. It costs less than $3 a day. You're investing in your health, and it's cheaper than your cold brew habit. Come on. Plus, Athletic Greens has over 7,000 5-star reviews. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with a convenient daily nutrition. It's just 1 scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/MLB Network. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/MLB Network to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Mr. Bones, you ready for He Was a Blue Jay?
I am ready for He Was a Blue Jay.
All right. Would you like to show the people on YouTube our faces?
Unveil.
There we go.
I was doing
Hey, people on YouTube. How's it going? All right. He Was a Blue Jay, your favorite game show, if this is the only game show you've ever seen. Basically, what we do is you like that one? Basically, what we do here is we pick a niche Blue Jay, like, I don't know, a guy who gave up a grand slam to the Blue Jays on Sunday, like Miguel Castro. He's one of the former contestants, or not contestants. That would be cool though. And what we do is I give Bones 5 different hints. Nice duck. 5 different hints about the guy's career, and he has to guess who this guy is. He's got about 30 seconds or 3 guesses in between each hint. If he can get it, then he'll improve his record to 21-5. If he does not get it, he will fall. If he taps out, essentially, because I kind of just let him go until he taps out at the end, he will fall to 20-6. You good?
Let's do it.
All right. Hint number 1. This pitcher was drafted in 2005 by the Cardinals.
All right, 2005. That means he came up probably in like 2009, 2010-ish, maybe 2008 if he was good. Are the Cardinals Jason Marquis?
Not Jason Marquis.
Jason Mott.
Not Jason Mott. You have a third Jason.
Mark Zepchinski.
Not Mark Zepchinski. He was a Blue Jay, but for a while.
I know he was. I know he was. All right, I'll move on.
All right. Hint number 2. You were kind of on it in a way. His major league career began in 2008 and ended in 2018.
Oh, he's finished already. Okay. We don't even know if he ever played for the Cardinals, but we do know that he was drafted by them, and he played for 10 years. So this is a guy who was a 10-year vet. He was good at some point. Somebody was like, that guy's good enough to be on my team a couple of times. I'm going to say played for the Cardinals, even though I don't think he did in my heart of hearts. But it's the only thing I can go off of. This is tough. Jaime Garcia.
Oh, that's brutal. You
I am
got
the
it.
greatest of all time. I am the greatest there ever
I was
was.
worried about you getting this one. That's another Necro. That's the third Necro.
That's
ever.
fantastic. I got that on the second guess.
Let me give you the other three hints. The Cardinals were the only team he spent more than 1 year with in his major league career. I was kind of worried you were going to get him early. He was a Blue Jay starter in 2018. I genuinely did not remember this. I do now, but I genuinely did not remember it. And hint 5 was he was a Yankee in 2017. Would that have
I
turned
remember him being a Yankee, yeah. Well, I remember him being a Yankee, and I loved Jaime Garcia because he was just like a crafty lefty, which is like I'm a sucker for. He also had a red glove, which I thought was cool. I just always liked Jaime Garcia. He's one of those guys who's just he was one of those just like Cardinals solid starters for a long time. I believe he was an all-star maybe once or never.
The shocking thing is that I thought he was an all-star at least once. He was never an all-star.
Okay.
But the issue for him was in his best years, he didn't really stay healthy that much. Although his rookie season, he had a 2.7 ERA and 28 starts, but it was 2010, and him being 13-8 probably stopped him from.
He was fantastic for a little while.
Yeah, part of the 2011 World Series team for the Cardinals, made 6 starts in those playoffs, and his 2 World Series starts versus Texas, a 1.8 ERA. Grody.
He's a champion. Can't take that away from him.
He's a World Series champion. Give me the catch line, please.
He was a Blue Jay?
Yeah. And I'm going to use one of his nicknames in Nickname Game going forward, so don't look at his page.
I usually always look at their page right after this. It's kind of brutal now. I won't look.
Things he was other than a Blue Jay that almost all of these except one shocked me. So I knew he was a Brave. I did not know he was a Twin. I did not remember he was a Yankee, and I did not know he was a Cub. That's a lot.
I don't remember the Cubs. I remember the Twins. I don't remember. I kind of remember the Blue Jays, but not really. Was he number 54?
I'm not calling cap on you, but he made one ever start for the Minnesota Twins.
I don't know why I remember him in a Twins uniform. I just do. Was he number 54
on the Twins?
Was that his number that he always wore?
54 on the Cardinals and the Braves. Yeah.
What about the Yankees? What was he?
34.
Yeah, because Chapman. All right.
You might remember him on the Twins because the Twins traded him to the Yankees.
Oh, maybe that's why.
So potentially that's why you would know that.
Gotcha.
But yeah, honestly, while I did think you had a good shot at getting that, I didn't bet that you were going to Necro it. But if I was going to go make a bet, then I guess I'd go stop by our friends at betonline.net, your number one source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest sports developments, league reviews, and news, including this year's NHL playoffs and Major League Baseball. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sporting wagering information, including live betting, esports, and scores. And betonline.net remains the best spot for all your sports scores, podcasts, and news this season. BetOnline.net is the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your favorite sports and events, including MMA, boxing, and golf. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends in action. BetOnline, where the game starts. That ad read no longer has NBA playoffs because Thornhill, Ontario's own Andrew Wiggins has won the NBA title, and that's also where I'm from. So that's cool.
Big for you.
Big. Does he bring the Larry O.B. to the Thornhill Community Center? That's the question. That's what's on people's minds.
You got to poll the public. See what they think. All right. Well, the Blue Jays are now going to play Chicago again. Remember when they hosted Chicago and it was like one of those series where you just kind of felt bad for the White Sox the whole time because you were like, man, they're bad. Now they're going to Chicago, to the South Side. So that should be kind of exciting for them.
White Sox still bad.
Yeah, they're bad. I wonder
Which
if
is shocking. Which is actually like really shocking.
Yeah, I mean it is and it isn't. Like they kind of are injured and like the team it's got great players on it, like some really good players, but like it also has like guys who are not either past their prime or just like not incredibly good. Like Reese McGuire, I know he's a Blue Jay, but like he's not good. Larry Garcia is their starting second baseman. He stinks. He's got a 500 OPS.
Just like tanked from last year.
Yes, absolutely.
They wouldn't play Reese McGuire if
he also hurt.
Yeah,
but Adam Engel can't hit. Luis Roberts been fine at best. He can't slug the ball for anything. AJ Pollock's been not good. My boy Jake Berger's hitting the ball, and Tim Anderson's hurt.
Yeah, Tim Anderson being hurt sucks too, because he was actually just playing like straight up Tim Anderson baseball.
Yeah, and the other thing is like you thought, okay, even if they can't hit, they're going to be able to pitch because they have Lucas Giolito, Dylan Cease, Michael Kopech, Cueto. Giolito has a nearly 5 ERA. His whip is nearly 1.5.
Are Cueto's numbers still good?
Cueto is still good. I mean, he's only pitched 6 or started 6 games though.
But that's shocking. I can't believe
he's got a 2.95 ERA and a 1.1 whip. He's the best whip on the team, which is insane. But they had to cut Keuchel because he was terrible.
Yeah.
Cease is pitching well, and so is Kopech. But if you only have like 2.5 good starters, like how far is that really going to take you if you don't have offense? And their only offensive player is Jose Abreu and Andrew Vaughn, I guess, if you want to add him, because he's only played 46 games. They're kind of in shambles, underrated. They have the most dumb manager in baseball, too. I said it. I
think you called Brandon Hyde the dumbest manager in baseball.
Listen, Brandon Hyde, I was less so. Listen, here's the thing. Did you listen to the press conference after read the press conference after they played the Dodgers and he intentionally walked Trey Turner?
Oh, absolutely heinous. Yeah, for everyone who didn't see, they intentionally walked Trey Turner with a 1-2 count. Like
what are you doing?
The craziest thing you could possibly do. At a bare minimum, spike 3 breaking balls and just walk him that way and see if he chases one.
Here's the other thing about it. He then defended it, and somebody asked him, like, hey, Tony, like, what? And he was like, do I have to tell you his numbers against lefties? Like, you had him on 2 strikes, man. Like, what were you doing? Also, his numbers against lefties, like, aren't that good. Like, what were you? He had no idea what the heck he was talking about. And
to antagonize the reporter stinks. It's not surprising. But it was like a completely valid question that if you listen or watch every broadcast covering that game, White Sox or Dodgers, they're all like, what?
It's absurd. It's ridiculous. Yeah. All right. Well, we should give our scaries and our MVP or our hype trains. What you want to do first?
Hype train is coming off the cuff, so let's do my scary.
All right, go ahead.
My scary, and he hasn't given evidence this year. But like you said, the pitching hasn't been great, but a big boost they got back recently, although his first start didn't go fantastic, is that Lance Lynn is back. Lance Lynn was phenomenal last year. He was top 3 in Cy Young voting. That many innings, but had a sub-3 ERA. He does this whole thing where he says he only throws balls, which is like kind of true, but he also has 3 different types of fastballs. So he's like kind of capping, but it's okay. I like it. And he's a big like cover the arms in rosin guy, I think. Like just get gross on the mound. I believe he's still doing that. I could be mixing it up, but I'm pretty sure that's him. So I like Lance Lynn. For what it's worth, although, like you said, Giolito hasn't pitched well this year, the Blue Jays line up against Giolito, Cease, and Lynn, which is kind of tough. So, Lynn could go out there and, like, he had his warm-up start. Now he's back to Lansing, and that would be a problem for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, I mean, that guy was so good. Like, when he's good, he's, like, one of the most fun pitchers to watch. But when he's bad, it's just, like, he kind of stinks.
It's been good.
He's fun, though. Former Yankee. All right. I'm going to go with Andrew Vaughn, who I recently spoke about. He probably has the scariest headshot in all of the league. His eyeballs are just seeing right through you in that picture. He's scary looking. But pitchers are probably scared of him when he comes to the plate. Recently, over the last 7 games, he's created a 7-game hit streak. And in that time, 15 hits in those 7 games. He's got a 455 average, nearly a 500 slugging, nearly a 500 on base, gives him a 971 OPS. Doesn't have a homer in that time, but 6 ribbies, 3 walks, a double. He's hitting the ball really freaking well right now, and that is more than you can say about pretty much the entirety of the other people in this offense. So Andrew Vaughn's my guy. I think he's going to do some damage, and the Jays should look out and try to game plan against him.
It's crazy you said that because NBA champion Andrew Wiggins went to Vaughn's secondary.
Wow. Stop.
No, Andrew Vaughn's good. Andrew Vaughn's good.
I think my hype train will go to Gabriel Moreno.
Cool.
Just because I like him a lot. I think he's cool. He was the first person to have a clutch hit for Toronto in the Yankee series. He had that RBI. He also has a cannon and is fun to watch. The thing I was saying in the Detroit series when he came up was the underrated part about his debut is that, he looked good. He was fun, looked like a nice guy. He also called a shutout in his first game. So, like, there's that too. So I like Gabriel Moreno.
Yeah, that's a cool one. First ever hype train for him. Probably like it's gonna have like his first ever hit, his first ever RBI, and then right below that on the mantle, first ever hype train.
Facts.
I will go with George Springer. George Springer was 0 for 18 before he hit his home run. Today, you're listening to it Monday, so yesterday. But yeah, I mean, George has been good all year. Like this was like the first time he even went, I think, like more than 10 at-bats or something without a base hit. So I'm not really worried, but I'm just kind of buying low, feels like the best time to buy low on George. That's my hype train. And if the Blue Jays are going to meet their 13-game win total in the 20-game stretch, they got to win a lot of this series, maybe sweep.
It's true. All right. Well, thank you for making your first listen Locked On Blue Jays. Now what you got to do is go over to the Ultimate NBA Mock Draft because the first picks have already been made. Search now for Ultimate NBA Mock Draft and get over 50 insiders, the Odyssey sports experts, the draft experts of Locked On NBA Big Board are also there. The 5-episode Ultimate NBA Mock Draft is underway. Make Ultimate NBA Mock Draft your second listen today. Ben and I will see you tomorrow.